Now, Indian monsoons are notorious to reveal the failed Indian infrastructure of the major cities. The cars with the highest ground clearance are the only way to survive the city infrastructure. Hyundai has taken this opportunity to introduce the Exter, which will become Hyundai's most affordable SUV in the Indian market. Starting at 6 lakh rupees, the Hyundai Exter will take directly on the Tata Punch. This variant, that is the top end one, costs about 10 lakh. So what is Hyundai Exter is all about? Well, stay tuned till the end of the video and we will tell you all about it, especially the AMT. The new Hyundai Exter, it gets powered by a 1.2 liter petrol engine. It's a naturally aspirated engine and it's a 4-cylinder engine, which means it gets an extra cylinder compared to the Tata Punch, which will make it smoother to drive. It is also the only car in the market segment at the moment which gets a factory fitted CNG option. With a petrol, the Exter, the 1.2 liter engine, it produces a maximum of 83 PS and a peak torque of about 114 Nm. Now comes the interesting and unique bit of the Exter. You see the Smart Auto badge? Well, the automatic variants of the Exter, it gets AMT. However, this car right here is the only car in the Indian market currently which gets paddle shifters with the AMT. How does this industry first feature works out? Well, let's jump on the driver's seat to find out. Now the AMTs are infamous for being laggy and many of the enthusiast drivers who like to drive the manual transmission do not really like to drive the AMTs. However, in our opinion, Hyundai has really cracked it with the paddle shifters. So while we are driving the car in the manual mode, and if you want to do an upshift, we'll just lift up our foot from the accelerator to put the plus button and the car shifts very smoothly. Now if you want to downshift, we'll do the same, and as you have noticed, the car has actually downshifted and you even didn't get to notice. This is how smooth it is. Now if you are someone who really likes to take control over the transmission and wants to really take control on how the gear shifts, the Hyundai Exter is a perfect car for you. Now coming to the people who really do not like to press the clutch and change the gear every now and then, especially during the heavy traffic, the Hyundai Exter is also perfect for such customers. Now why is that? Now I will show you how strong the crawl feature of the Hyundai Exter is. Now we are recreating a situation where it is a slow moving traffic situation. Now we have come to a complete stop. I have just lifted my foot off the brake paddle and it has started moving. So the crawl of the Exter, it is quite strong as well. We really loved how Hyundai has cracked this AMT saga with the paddle shifters, and I think a lot of people who were staying away from AMTs because of the laggy feature, they will really love to drive the new Exter. Apart from that, coming to the suspension, it is bit on the stiffer side. However, given the tall boy design, I think it's a good thing because it doesn't get much of a body roll. The steering wheel is not lifeless like many other Hyundai cars that we have driven in the past. So it feels more connected to the road and it does weigh up very nicely when you speed up. Currently we are doing about 50 kmph and the steering wheel does feel well weighted, I will say. Apart from that, now coming back to the transmission, I forgot to tell you that this transmission gives you the convenience of an automatic but the fuel efficiency of a manual transmission. According to the ARAI test, the AMT transmission, it returns about 19.2 kmpl, which is only 0.2 kmpl less than the manual transmission. Now we have been driving this car for a long time now, and currently according to the display we are getting about 16 kmpl after driving this vehicle for about 100 kilometers. We were not aiming to get the fuel efficiency. The AC is on. We have been shooting this car all day through long, and in our opinion, that fuel efficiency figure, it is quite appreciable. Now we also drove the manual version, and just like all other Hyundai cars, it gets a short throw gear, and the changes are crisp, the clutch remains light, and the overall behavior of the manual transmission, it remains exactly the same as the AMT. So that also gets a thumbs up from us, just like the AMT. Now Hyundai has designed the Exter to be rugged, to be an outside car, especially for the youngsters. So this really gets a unique design, but a lot of design elements come from the higher end car, like the flagship Ioniq. At the front you can see the parametric grille, which is actually looks very closed down. It doesn't have any big vents on it. Apart from that, you get the massive Exter moniker at the front of the vehicle itself. You get the new Hyundai logo design. You get the split headlamp setup. So this is the Bisonon headlamp. You do not get any external fog lamps with it. At the top you get this LED element, which also forms the DRL of the Hyundai Exter. You also get the turn indicator, which is integrated to this. You do not get the LEDs with the Exter, which in my opinion is a good thing, especially if you are driving in heavily fogged out situations or rainy situations, because the white light tend to blind you, especially when you run it on the high lamps or high beams. Coming to the side, you get a dual tone design of the alloy wheels. It's a 15-inch alloy wheel, and we have a dual tone paint scheme with the Exter as well. This is the flagship khaki color of the Exter. You also get a lot other options. You do not get a request sensor on the co-driver's side. However, you do get it on the driver's side. Apart from that, you get roof rails. These are not functional, since you get a sunroof with this car, a first in a segment feature. Apart from that, if you see the C pillar of the Exter, it also gets a unique design. If you look at this portion closely, it again gets a parametric design, and this part is smooth enough. So this are two different designs, and they are integrated quite well to the car. Also coming to the wheel arches, they are squared out, and even though the wheels are 15 inches, they fill up the wheel wells very well. You also get these solid plastic claddings that again add to the muscular look of the car. Now coming to the rear of the Hyundai Exter, you get a similar looking tail lamp that resembles the LED DRL pattern in the front. It gets the H shape, and it does look quite unique. You get Exter moniker here, and both the tail lamps, they are connected by a thick strip of black portion, which gets the same parametric design in the rear as well. The bumper itself, it does get a rugged look. It's a dual tone bumper, just like the front, and just like the front, it gets those fake or faux screw type design, which adds to the rugged look. So overall, the Hyundai Exter, it does look outstanding on the road. It really stands out, especially if you watch this car alongside other cars in this segment, especially with these deep creases on the sides and the clever bits that I showed you in the video. Now we are inside the cabin of the new Exter, and before we start anything, I want to show you the key. It looks very familiar to the all other Hyundai cars. It looks very premium as well. Apart from that, the dashboard and the cabin itself, it looks very similar to the Grand i10 Neos. It's a sporty looking cabin. It gets an all black theme, plus you get different stitches on the seats as well. This one gets the same color as the exterior, the khaki color. The blue one, it gets different blue shade as well. The same shade you can see on the dashboard as well. The dashboard itself, it gets hard plastic on the top. However, it gets a same parametric design that you see on the outside of this car. It does feel very premium to touch and look as well. Apart from that, you get infotainment screen, which is mounted at the center. It's a high definition screen which shows you a lot of information. It also gives you the Hyundai Blue Link features, which you can access by a dedicated button on the IRVM as well. And this is the first car in the segment that also gets preloaded maps, the offline maps in this car as well. Apart from that, it also gets a unique feature. What is that? Well, that's the voice commands, and you can give it in English, like sunroof kholo. So if it takes that, it will open the sunroof. I think it has taken a lot of other commands, so we'll try it again. Sunroof kholo.
Opening the sunroof.
Now, as you can see, it takes a lot of English commands, and you also get to see the first in segment feature with the Exter, which is the sunroof. It is not a very wide sunroof, however, it does get a sunroof, which a lot of customers in this segment demand a lot. Right in front of me lies an all digital instrument cluster. It's a typical Hyundai instrument cluster with the tachometer on the right hand side and the speedometer on the left hand side. It changes color as you drive the car and changes the RPM as well. It gets the indicator for the fuel level and the engine as well. It also gets a gear position indicator which shows you which position the gear is in. Apart from that, it gets a leather wrapped steering wheel, which is quite good to hold. It does feel quite a premium steering wheel. You get the new Hyundai logo on the steering wheel as well. There are buttons on both the sides which can be used to control the infotainment system, as well the features inside the instrument cluster. Apart from that, you also get the cruise control buttons right here mounted on the steering wheel. It is not flat bottom, however, it has a very good size which you can use very optimally to move the car around the small city roads. As I told you before, it gets the paddle shifters, and this is the only car in the segment and only car in the country to get paddle shifters with an AMT transmission. The AMT transmission itself you can control with this nifty looking, premium looking gear lever which stays right in the middle, and it gets a leather wrapped cover which does get a dual stitching, and it does look very premium as well. You get a wireless charger right in front of it, and you can charge all your wireless charging capable devices like I'm charging my AirPods. Apart from that, you get a dedicated screen for the climate control system, and above that you get two vents. On the right hand side, on the left hand side, sorry, you get a space to keep your knickknacks. You get a massive glove box, and it is a cool glove box. You can control the temperature inside the glove box to keep your bottles cool while traveling on long distance journeys. You do not get a armrest here, but you do get a lot of space in the center console to keep things like a coffee mug or a small water bottle. The seats themselves, they get a lot of bolsters on the side, and as I told you before, they get a contrasting piping stitches that looks exceptionally well. It looks exceptionally sporty with this car. You also get the Exter logo on the seats themselves. Now let's quickly jump to the rear of the car to check out how and what it really offers. Now we are in the rear seat of the new Hyundai Exter, and the front seat, it is adjusted according to my height. For the reference, I am 5'10", and you can see how much space I get in the rear seat as well. There is a lot of knee room, and there is a lot of space to move around my feet as well. So there is a space for third passenger, and the transmission tunnel, it's at the minimal height, which means the third passenger can fit in very decently. However, on the longer journeys, he or she will face little problems or little discomfort, as we all do in all the cars. However, Hyundai has done a very smart work with this Exter, and it gives you a 3-point safety belt even for the middle passengers, which is a first in segment. Other first in segment safety feature in the Exter is the standard 6 airbags, which is available across the variants. Also, this car comes with standard ESC across all the variants as well. Now coming back to the features for the rear seat passengers, it includes AC vents, and you can close it and open it from a rotary dial right here. Apart from that, you get a 12-volt charging socket in the rear as well. You get seat pockets, and you get spaces on the door pads as well. There is no armrest for the rear passenger. However, the size of the windows, they are massive, so you do not feel very claustrophobic while sitting in the rear seats. Apart from that, the height of the Exter, it is tallest in the segment, and you can see how that converts into a massive amount of headroom for me. You also get the longest wheelbase in the segment, which translates into a lot of space right here and a lot of space in the boot. How much of space? Well, let's check that out as well. Now to open the boot, you get a button right here. You just press it once and it opens up to a space of 391 liters. What that means? Well, it means that you can put 2 overnighter suitcase and a lot more luggage, right? You can see right here, including an umbrella. Even though it is sunny today, we are carrying an umbrella just because it is monsoon season and you never know when the rains come pouring. So you see how Hyundai has packaged the Exter very optimally to get you all the space that is possible. Now Hyundai has really cracked this with the new Exter. This car offers a great value for money, a top-notch cabin quality, a supremely refined 4-cylinder engine, and a plethora of first-time features in the segment, including the paddle shifters with the AMT transmission. Now, in my opinion, a lot of office goers will choose this car over the rival like the Tata Punch just because of the convenience features that this car offers. Apart from that, the Exter can be used on city roads. It can be a great car on the highways as well, and it can bring you to such places where the normal hatchbacks can't. In my opinion, in our opinion, the Exter wins outrightly when compared to the Punch. But your opinions is what really matters. So make sure that you write your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, do not forget to subscribe to the Car Talk channel and press the bell icon to get regular updates.